Well, what's up, Warriors, and welcome to this Saturday night soul session. I'm excited to come to you tonight with my guest and what is quickly becoming an amazing friend already, Mr. Alex Kaplan, from Of Substance. Now, I I I still don't quite know how I found Alex and Of Substance, but I believe and I asked that before this season started that I would have only divinely designed guests. Like I gave my vision out and, into the world. And I asked for people that resonated with that vision to just come into my experience. And so here we are with Alex Kaplan and Of Substance. So Alex uses his amazing skills to make these hard hitting, emotional, just transformational, short, very amazingly produced movies about substance abuse, about the whys that we use, not just the use, but the why that we use. Because we know if you don't get to the roots of your addictions, your escapism, then you're always waiting on relapse to happen. And there's a way that we can get to the roots and we can change things. And again, we know that we are changing the way the world recovers. One video, one podcast, one movie, one conversation at a time. Each one of us are so important in this revolution, if you will. So I'm going to stop talking. You're going to be able to find everything about how to find Alex and, Of Substance down in the description box. He's going to tell you himself, but we're going to start this video a little bit different. And I'm going to show you his latest effort called Trapped. And then we'll be on with Alex Kaplan. This is Of Substance.
Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. I gotta get back to the office. I'm already late.
I was thinking about stopping home tomorrow.
Yes? Oh, Mom and Dad would love to see you. They won't believe it. In a good way.
No, I know. I got it. Don't worry.
But this was great. It's so good to see you, Ames. You look great. You sound great. I can't even begin to tell you.
I know. Thanks, Matt.
Amy, I'm so proud of you. How far you've come. I can't even imagine how hard it must have. Ah, you look so good. Can we do this again, ASAP?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But get out of here.
All right, okay. Bye. Let's chat this week.
Yes,
And we'll
go.
set something. Okay.
Go.
All right. Bye.
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 Can I take this?
No, yeah, totally.
Can't get redeemed with the silk of your skin. I won't be redeemed if I gave up on my sin. I find no redemption at the end of this pen, like the soft, slow redemption at the bottom of my gin. Spare the twisted if you spare the no one. Spare the wine. Spare the wicked. Spare the blind. Spare the blind. better change course fast. A quick dry wash keeps a clean glass where a holy rolling ocean needs a solid sail. No one is spared on this planet that we spin. The unfortunate redemptions at the bottom of my chin. Spare the twisted if you spare the same. Spare the one, spare the aim. Spare the whiskey if you're sparing the wine. Spare the wicked, spare the blind. Spare the twisted if you spare the saints. Spare the wicked, spare the blind, blind.
That's outstanding, man. That's outstanding.
Thanks, LC. Thank you. And
Hey.
hi, everybody.
Man, Alex Kaplan, thank you so much for coming here with us tonight and lending us your time and you as a resource to this conscious recovery movement. I mean, what an amazing talk to me about Trapped and talk to us. Well, first, I guess talk to us about you and how you came to this and doing this and how what's your journey been, man?
Well, LC, first of all, thank you for all that you do. Right, this fourth season of this series is amazing. Thank you for that's. It's not easy to keep at it. Right, the tenacity, the unwavering tenacity it takes to do something and stick with it is honestly, I think, the biggest thing I learned in getting sober. Right.
Thank you. Yes.
And I admire it deeply.
Thank you so much. I
but
appreciate
at the same time, it takes all of us doing the little thing that we do differently, working together. So I'm right here with you, always by your side. And that's
awesome.
It's for you and that's for everybody listening. And I think
that's awesome.
LC will agree with me on that.
Yeah, without a doubt. It takes all of us, man.
But let me just tell everybody real quick, like what it is that Of Substance is. So Of Substance, imagine a world where we all feel seen, heard, and loved, right? Where you enter every room already knowing that you're enough. And where movies are our most powerful tool for healing and growth, right? Cool. This is the world that Of Substance is creating. Of Substance is an innovative nonprofit that's making premium, entertaining short films to help us all overcome the shame, the blame, and stigma that we experience in our struggles. Our films explore and celebrate the depths of our unique diversities while connecting us through our common humanity. Right? So we're turning immersive cinema, many movies you really, truly enjoy watching, like from rom-coms to thrillers, into an approachable and captivating tool for behavioral change. So our provocative films are becoming tools that enhance and expedite the impact that are already being made by current systems, from education to treatment to training to support. These mini movies emotionally prime viewers so that whatever experience follows, may that be a class, therapy, a discussion, it's more likely to cultivate that deep motivation that's needed for perspective shifting and long-lasting transformation. So that's what we're doing. That's the idea, because all of the systems we have out there in general for growth, for learning, for healing, they're all cognitive, right? They're intellectual. And the problem is, it's reading, it's writing, it's speaking, it's lecturing, it's me talking at you like I am right now, right?
Yeah.
But you don't fully understand something until you can feel it And you don't
Oh, yeah.
develop that deep motivation that we need for long-term change until you're emotionally connected. So with
Yes.
movies, we're able to skip the cognitive and go straight
Yes.
to feeling it. And I hope that's what people felt a little bit when they just watched Trapped, because
Yes.
Trapped is not about drinking. It's not about drugs. It's about that universally relatable human experience of trying and failing and trying and failing and giving it what you got. And it's more about how that feels in a way that we can
Yeah.
all relate, as opposed
Yeah.
to drinking. And so when my mom read this script for Trapped, it was just a 2-page script. And this is the woman I lived with for 5 years while trying to get sober. She reads
Wow.
the script and she's like, is this really what it's like for you? I said, yes, Mom, this is what it's like for me. And then we hold each
Wow.
other for 30 minutes while crying together, because we knew that that was the moment where she finally understood and she finally related and she felt it.
Yeah.
And that was actually the moment when we were finally able to move the conversation beyond, why can't you stop drinking? And to, I see you, I love you, I'm with you.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what we're doing. That's what we've
Yes.
stumbled on how to do that. And so that's what I do now.
Yes.
Right? How I got here, though, is I was raised very privileged. I'm straight white Jewish guy from the Northeast. My father did well, and I had no problems my whole life. And when I was 23, my dad died. And on the same day that I gave his eulogy, we found out we were tens of millions of dollars in debt.
Wow.
So grew up with homes and cars and all that stuff, and lost the man who made it all easy and the world all in the same day. So to say the least, I didn't know how to communicate with the world around me anymore. I didn't know who I was in it. I didn't.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, losing money is not about losing money. It's about
Right.
losing like your paradigm and context for how you relate to things. And that's strange, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But instead of facing it, I crawled inside a deep bottle of booze and under a huge amount of cocaine, and I numbed for 4 years. And luckily, the right person said the right thing at the right time, and I was a bartender, not working actor in New York, and I went home to Philly and I sought help for myself when I was 27. And I'll be honest with you, I tried a couple of things, and I tried AA, and it did not take for me. And I don't think it's because of AA.
No.
I think that really it's always about the people you find and the community you find. And unfortunately, I found rooms where people were abstinent but not really sober.
Right. That was my experience too.
Yeah. Cool. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That was my complete experience too.
Yeah. It's interesting because like I'd watch that and it didn't give me the incentive to get and stay sober.
Yeah.
I was just like, you're not showing me a life worth fighting for.
No, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I tried some other things, and luckily, as soon as I was about to give up, I got in touch with the right guy who runs a progressive group. And the biggest thing I learned in that group is that we don't use the term recovery. We don't use the term relapse. We don't count days. We don't really talk about sobriety. Each guy in that room struggles with a different substance. We all struggle with substances, but the majority of the time we talk about life and relationships and career, right?
Yes.
And the biggest thing I learned in that room is that life's not about learning how not to fall. It's about learning how to pick yourself up better and better each time.
Yes.
And that's everything, right? And
yes.
So that's the other thing is like, I learned to change my relationship to struggle.
Yes.
Right?
That's
Where
exactly it.
That's it, right? And that's what you talk about. I'm so giddy about being here and talking to you.
Man.
Like, this is so cool. But I mean, I could keep talking, but like, I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I let's talk about that, because that was so true. And I think that kept me for so long. When we talk about that one paradigm of recovery, which you and I are, one of two of many, examples of how we had to reach out for something different, because I had been in those rooms, and I think you're right. It is about finding just that right place where you click. And I think that's with all forms of recovery. Whatever's working for you, you found your place. And when I would go to those, in those rooms that I was going to, you were right. I was just seeing people holding back the dam of relapse with their hands, and no legs behind it. You're just trying to upper body strength it, and
Yeah.
it wasn't going to happen. And I had been through it so many times that I had to make a choice. Like, I either got to go deeper into the shit, or I just got to use and make a like a almost a suicide plan to die by overdose. But one of the two has to happen. Like, I got to make a choice. Can't keep wobbling down the line and covering up stuff,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's funny because I think I got to that point. My lowest, when I was at my worst, it was 4 months on the Upper West Side of Manhattan in an apartment, and I was doing 2 8-balls a day for 5 days straight. Each day I was doing another 2 8-balls with no sleep for 5 days, chasing that with a bottle of vodka each day until I'd pass out and do it over again. My psychosis was so crazy that I was hiding knives in the cabinets and in the couch just in case the ninjas broke it,
Right.
It's like,
Right.
and that's the thing, is like, the guy who said the right thing is my best friend, and he would always call me and try to get me to go to a movie or something. And everybody was saying for years, something's up with Alex needs help, and Zach was always just like, he's okay, he's just going through this, he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And so when Zach finally called one day and was just like, Alex, why are you doing this? It planted something in my head. It finally just penetrated. And I heard for the first time this idea that maybe there was a different choice. Like, no matter how hard I was trying without consciously trying, I wasn't dying. This was still going. Like, what would I rather do with my time? Maybe there's a different option? And that's when I started just seeking help. And I went to my group, and it took 2 years of going to group every single Tuesday night and leaving and getting drugs, but coming back every Tuesday night. But I went to this group where it was just no judgment, come in, just show up. And as long as I told them the truth, I was welcomed with open arms and love. And so I would come in and I'd say, guys, I fucked up again. I did more coke. I did it all week. They'd be like, hey, thanks for telling us, and thanks for being here. You're doing great. Yeah. It was like, okay. So I built the habit of vulnerability and being open and honest and sharing, not hiding. They made it easier to not lie anymore, and I saw the power of just like being open, being transparent, being like living in like the missteps,
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing over time that I've learned. And these lessons, they never stop, it's the same lesson over and over. Just like the new situation, you just have to find a way to apply it. Yes. And it was about a year ago now. COVID's just been so long. It's about a year ago now that I realized during COVID, I was so scared. I mean, I'm sure most of us were waking up with a sense of dread, just so scared about everything. And I realized that I was using Netflix and food the same way I used to use like drinking and Coke. And I was using it to run away. And I was just like, holy crap. I'm officially 4 years sober. I have been on this journey for 8.5 years of like working to get sober. Nice. And I'm just now realizing I have never addressed the underlying thing that I am running away from.
Yes.
Like, shit. So what is it? And I started to dive in a little bit deeper, and I started to recognize that every time I meet somebody, or every time I'm like, even with a friend or anything, the first thoughts in my head are, they're smarter than you, they're more handsome than you, they're more conversationalists, they're more successful, they're better with finances.
Talk to me, brother.
Right?
Talk to me, brother.
that's the carousel of thoughts, and that's the
Yeah.
negative mindset that's always winning. And I started to just dive in a little bit deeper, and that's when I really started to understand that my issue is far less about using substances than it is about why I used substances.
Yeah.
And it's
Yes.
about shame, it's about a fear of not belonging, and it's about a fear of not being good enough. And none of that is unique to addiction.
Absolutely.
That's just being a person.
That's
and
it.
so that's what we're doing with Of Substance. Of Substance is not about addiction. It's not about mental health. It's not about mental illness. It's not about trauma. It is just about being a human being and
Yeah.
talking about the things that we don't talk about. Like, so we're making movies. We were just talking about, LC and I were
Yep.
just talking about like future films about people who are trans, about people who are different religions, different races, different
Yes.
backgrounds, different socioeconomic, upbringings. Because the more
Yes.
films that we can show from different circumstances, the more we can see each other side by
Yeah.
side and recognize that our struggles aren't actually different. We have the
Yeah.
same struggle. It just looks different.
Absolutely.
And we all have the same story. It just
Yeah.
looks different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're just trying to manage life the best we can. So if we can just like build up a little bit of empathy, feel seen, heard, and loved,
Yes.
and better see,
Yes.
hear, and love the people in our lives,
Yes.
then this world will be a better place.
Oh man, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. And to create something that automatically safely opens a line of communication. Because if we just watched a movie, like I can foresee one of those shorts in front of every movie that comes on, whether it be on the cinema or premieres on, say, HBO Max, whatever it is. I can see one of your shorts happening before it, just like a preview. And that then safely nobody has to break the ice and talk about something difficult. We can talk about what we just saw together and open a line of communication. And nothing ever changes until we see ourselves in someone else. So you making that relatable, man.
Thanks.
Genius.
I mean, well, I'll be totally honest. This is no genius. Like, this is something that we've been trying to figure out for decades, right? We've been trying to use movies and short films in education and treatment and HR training for years, but it's a very expensive product to make. And to make it in a way that's actually engaging and captivating and not patronizing in tone, like, doesn't guarantee that everybody's going to get that 90% of people are going to get the same outcome, right? So to charge a company $50,000 to $100,000 for a thing that's not going to guarantee anything is not a viable product.
Right.
What we stumbled upon, though, is when we were making our first 8 films, we just had a vision for a YouTube channel that was a growing collection of short films that were as immersive, entertaining, and high quality as they are challenging, insightful, and authentic on some perspective of addiction. That's where this all started. And a place where people could go if you're at work and you can't make it to a meeting and you don't want to call your sponsor, you could go to Of Substance and you could watch a 4-minute Judd Apatow comedy. That's, fingers crossed, that's where I'm going. 4-minute Judd Apatow comedy and be like, oh, that was amazing. Oh, wait, that's why I do it. I'm good. Back to work, right? But not before sending it to your mom and being like, hey, mom, watch this. And she's like, oh, that was really funny. Is that really what it's like for you? I'm like, yes, mom, that's what it's like for me. But we're working to tell stories from both sides of the aisle. So because for every person who struggles with addiction, there's 9 who are affected by it who don't. And so we're working to make everyone feel seen, heard, and loved. And so then mom sends me a Ridley Scott sci-fi that's 10 minutes that's about her perspective or her side and her perspective of every time I fall off the wagon. And I can watch and be like, oh shit, that was cool. I never realized how much I was burning down your world. Expediting that bridge to love and understanding, right? That's where we're going. And so that was the original vision. And that's what we're working toward, but we're also building programs. We're just finishing up our first clinical guides to go with our first 8 films,
Nice.
to go into treatment, to go into treatment
Nice.
centers, private practices, prisons, go into counseling centers on school campuses. And that's just the beginning. But the idea was just like, hey, this is where we're going. Here's the vision. Here's the impact. Here's what we want to do. And I would give this, you can tell I'm verbose. I go and sell people and the cinematographer, hey, Matt, here's what we want to do. After 20 minutes, he'd say, Alex, shut up already. You're in. Right? But he would just say, I struggle. My mom struggles. My brother struggles. How can I help? And
Nice.
so next thing you know, it's 8 months later, and we've made 8 films. We've made about $600,000 worth of film for $5,000.
That's amazing.
And the way that we did that was we engaged people in a sense of service and community, right? And
Yep.
we engaged people in a sense of purpose and using their talents on something that they believed in. And
Yes.
so when we're doing this, we're like, there's something to this. And we realized somebody told me this sounds like a nonprofit. I'm like, oh, cool. It's a nonprofit. So the next day, I bought Nonprofits for Dummies.
Nonprofits for Dummies. I love it.
4.5 years ago, I bought this book, and I read it cover to cover, and I'm like, oh my God, all of the philosophies that help me get and stay sober, community, connection, purpose, service, are the fundamentals of a nonprofit. I'm just like, wow,
Yes.
there's something here. So the vision of where we're going is creating community and connection in watching others, in watching with others and connecting with them, but also in the way we make our films. So we make our films through service, we make it through purpose, and we make it through community. We invite you to submit your story from your perspective and your unique struggle to us and inspire our next short film.
That's
Once we get it and we hear it and it clicks for one of us, we reach out to you and we connect you with a film professional to help turn your story into our next 5-minute rom-com.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cool? And
yes.
then, well, once it's done, we invite you to come to set and be part of bringing it to life with the volunteer film professionals who volunteer their time on set with us for one day to turn your story into a movie, right?
How amazing is that?
Isn't that fun? So that's
Yes.
the thing. The genius is not making movies. We all know how powerful movies are.
Yeah.
The issue is that the way that they're structured, 90, 120-minute movies or series with nothing around them, it's just they cost a lot of money. They take a long time to make. They take resources. It's not a viable product for a company to like order. And so like we've been trying to do that. But they're our greatest tool for escapism and distraction. What we have figured out is how to turn them into our most powerful tool for healing and transformation. And like you were saying, it's just like, wouldn't it be great if there's one of these before everything, and then you get to talk to other people? Because I think that that's everything, right? That everything is, you can look at a painting, you can listen to a song, and you can watch a film, and you can stir up the emotions that you're used to. You own them. They're on replay for you inside. But if you get to be in a conversation in a classroom, in therapy, in a discussion where you watch it, and then somebody shares how it hit them, because we all experience art differently based on experiences we bring to it, then they get you to step outside your box.
Yes.
Open up your perspectives.
Yes.
So that's the magic. The movie is not the magic. The movie is just the catalyst that finds us to get to the more healing conversations.
Man, let me tell you, the power of purpose is outstanding. Like I'm just here just beaming because I know how powerful that feeling and that power of purpose is. And as I sit here and I listen to you be in your purpose, because you're not just telling your purpose, you're in your purpose while we're discussing this. Like there's no way that this is not going to be made just exactly like you say it, because that's the way you're moving towards that purpose. But it makes me so grateful that I had that I even had addiction and got to be in recovery. Like that's everything to me, that I can, instead of waking up every day in absolute regret that I lived through another moment, I sit in a chair where I am inspired by other people who are inspired through their recovery, their healing, to find their purpose and move in it. That's all it is for me, man. It's everything.
You're our inspiration as well. We're in this together. You're doing just as much as anybody else. You are showing up every day with your vehicle, and it's going to take all of us.
Every
right?
one of us.
Yeah.
Every one of us.
But like you
Everybody
said,
doing their part.
This is, I give keynotes. We have live experience offerings, keynotes for bigger audiences. We're still engaging like the audience, but we also do intimate workshops as well. And the concepts and the themes and the topics that we talk about are not about overcoming addiction.
Right.
We talk about changing our relationship with struggle,
Yes.
and we help to explore the progress in our lives where we currently see failure, both in ourselves and in others. And I think that's what's so tricky about, the traditional mindset.
Yes.
And I think we're all overcoming, not just in
Yes.
treatment, but in life,
In
right?
life, everywhere.
I deeply believe that success and failure is a construct that is not serving us to actually be our best selves. And so we talk about, let's talk about Trapped, right? We just watched Trapped. This is a conversation I like to have with groups and with audiences around Trapped. So we watched that film, and when I made that film and I wrote that film, that's a story about failure and falling. And the intention of it is to make others like us feel seen, heard, and loved, and feel less alone, and feel like we're not crazy and others get it, while also helping people who don't struggle with addiction to relate and change their perspectives on judgment, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, about 6 months ago, something flipped, and I started to realize that that's not a story about failure. That's a story about progress and success. Mm-hmm. It's all about perspective. And I bet that woman in that film had never tried that hard to get away. She was shocked by hitting that wall. So it was like she never really hit it before. But she tried to walk that way, she tried to go that way, and she tried to go that way. She tried. And then she fell. But does that mean just because the outcome was maybe ordering a drink, does that mean that she didn't do better today than she's ever done before?
Right. Yeah.
Does she not deserve all the credit in the world for that?
Yes.
Exactly. Yes, she does. And so we explore the idea of where you can find success where you're currently seeing failure, where you can improve the way you feel about yourself on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That's everything. Because if we can shift that negative echo chamber in our minds to more positive with more frequency, then we improve our emotional intelligence, and we start to more regularly skip it, instead of feel like I'm a piece of shit. It's just like, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Like, and that's tricky, and that's a challenging conversation to have, especially around addiction, because it's just like, you're saying, like, you're giving people leeway to fall and to drink. Not exactly, but it's just like, how do you grow in life?
Right.
We expect the expectations we set for people who struggle with different addictions. Like, yes, addictions to gambling, to sex, to substances, to eating disorders, like, they are much more dangerous, absolutely, and they affect us in the immediate, right? And it's not good, and we want it to stop immediately. But to expect it to stop immediately sets us up for more shame, because it's not going to stop immediately. So you're digging the hole deeper.
Absolutely. 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 And you're likely that you're still moving in a 50-50 chance of getting that person back or not, because somebody has to really want to come back to come through that shame. So you're absolutely right. It's more about, did you do your best today? Like, did you do your best today? What does that best look like for you? Not, did you do my best? Did you do Alex's best? But did you do your best? And that's so the truth. That's the only way that my life was able to change, is when I decided that, I've been here for all these years, 22 years in escapism through addictions and dangerous behavior. you know, all to escape this feeling of just shame and anger, and then realize I don't have to suffer just for suffering's sake. Like, all I've been doing this whole time is suffering for suffering's sake, and there's got to be something more that I can do with it.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautifully said. And I think that's somebody just said to me a couple of weeks ago. They were like, replace I am with I deserve. And I think that for the first time, I'm going. This is the first time I'm admitting this out loud. I have shame that I'm going on vacation next week. I have a growing nonprofit that needs money, that is not making the impact it needs to make. And I have been working nonstop for 4.5 years, not unplugging and not taking a vacation. And I'm going to unplug and take a vacation next week because I need to, and I get the opportunity to, and I have a lot of shame around it. But it's for the first time, I'm okay with doing this because I feel like I deserve it.
Yeah.
Like I have bust my ass to do this, and it's not there yet. I don't know if it'll ever be there because I don't know that there exists, right?
Right.
But I am giving it my all every day, and I am showing up, and this is what I learned in getting sober, you know. Like you said, it's just like you're grateful for your addiction because it brought you here. I was on another show called Tattoos and Torah, another podcast called Tattoos and Torah with Rabbi Iggy, and we were talking about this. And I talk about how losing my father was the best and worst thing that ever happened to me, because I don't know that I would be here doing something so amazing. And he said that true gratitude is seeing your greatest struggles as appreciating your greatest struggles as your greatest gifts.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
True gratitude.
Yes. It's a different gratitude. It's a deeper gratitude. It's when your vibration changes is when you hit that gratitude. Not that I'm thankful for the car, I'm thankful for life, I'm thankful for this today. No, it's when you get that deep, and that's when your vibration completely changes, and life just takes on this. It's like you're seeing it with these brand new eyes, where you become, I think that's what it means to become childlike, because you see it with the eyes of excitement because you've never seen it this way before. And there's a good to everything. A good to everything.
I want to find this thing. I'll find it, but I get these things that I love called Notes from the Universe. Have you heard of these?
Yes, yes.
Oh, they're phenomenal. But one of the ones I got recently that I've been reading, I send back to myself every single day, is almost daily basis, visualize outcomes, thinking new thoughts. It's not it. Isn't it odd? Oh, man. I forget. A second. Crap. Oh, here it is. This is amazing. Disappointment without anger is the mark of an old soul. Not being disappointed is the mark of a really old soul. And trusting life so thoroughly that every step on its path is valued more than where it was supposed to take you is the mark of eternal youth.
Yes.
So
yes. Love that.
Trusting life so thoroughly that every step on its path is valued more than where it was supposed to take you is the mark of eternal youth.
Yes.
Childlike. Right?
Yes, childlike. You're absolutely right.
So amazing.
And you get there, and you're getting there. And that's the coolest thing, that every single day that you just, that you just try to be so connected in life, like I spent this past year just having all of that false security just gone out of my life, things that from the outside world, it looked like we were losing things, but I knew within me that we're not losing anything. Like this is what we have to shed to go into this next level of, deep inner knowing, consciousness, and living my best. This is what it means to live my best life, to know that every day that I'm still guided and I'm on my path, and I don't have to live up to what, the programs they sell, are. You can take a class and you can get here in 30 days, or you could take, all of this other stuff, but it doesn't happen and people get frustrated. And the more we just lean back and trust that we're guided, man, like we're moving, we're guiding.
Yeah, just show up and give it your all. Right?
Yes.
And like,
yes.
like you said, doing your best. I believe that at every single moment, every single one of us is doing our very best, right? Because whatever circumstances, whatever genetic disposition has led us to make this choice right now, you're doing your best.
Yes.
Ease up on yourself, because if you just keep staying hard on yourself, you're actually never going to reach your potential.
No, you're
right?
you're keeping it out away from you. Like the more you're just connected with that, I don't have it yet, I'll be happy when. You're moving that way, even more away from you, even though you think we're doing it all that we can do and it should be happening. And when we're hard on ourselves, we miss the point. You're so right. That's great advice.
We miss the point.
We miss the
said.
point. We missed the point, man. This is here's another episode where I just get completely enamored. I love meeting people that are just with you on a different level, like on a soul level, like like I see in your face that you get what I'm talking about. And I've got one other friend, that's here right now, Pamela Topchi, and she gets what I'm talking about. And they make these amazing conversations. And I look forward to having these. That's why I do this. And I'm so glad that I stepped away from it for a while last year. And so I've come back with this new renewed passion to meet guys like you, to meet people and to connect in a deeper way. Where did you go? He left. Oh my gosh, I lost him. I don't know if he's coming back or not. I have no idea what just happened. What's up, Chrissy? Here he is back. You gotta love live video, man. I was just like,
it just kicked me out. It said to me, it's like, something happened and it's not your fault. That's what it said. It's so kind of it. That's so nice that it told me it's not your fault. Like, oh, how tired. Thank you, StreamYard. That was way to go, StreamYard.
I know, right? That's great. We'll double down on StreamYard right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, Alex, I just so love you being here. So tell me, like, what are you guys working on, like, right now? Like, what are we going to look forward to? What's coming from you after vacation when you get back and you come at this thing like never before because you're rested and well?
We are things are starting to blow up in a really cool way. We are starting to we're going to be a part of 3 festivals and summits, 4 festivals and summits in the next until June. Keynotes, I'll be keynote speaking. We're running different programs, interviews at summits about wellness, about forward thinking, about film. One of them is a new film festival about the future of storytelling, where there are going to be some really amazing people involved, and all of the work that we've put in until now is finally just starting to blossom, where we're going to get to be a part of some of these truly tremendous movements and these events. And so that's happening. We are now starting to, but we're also selling our live audience offerings of keynotes. So looking to go to high schools and colleges, but also treatment centers and hospitals and medical schools. And also we're working with a national HR company to get our live programming into HR and corporations across the country, because companies are paying so much for resources these days, but people still have so much shame and stigma around it.
Right.
They're not clicking on them. If I come in for an hour and I engage you in a conversation with some movies that just makes you feel a little less weird about it, you're probably going to click on these things. So we're utilizing our movies and conversations experience, which is
Awesome.
a multimedia immersive journey, which is just using our movies to engage people in conversations. It's fun, it's captivating, it's immersive, you enjoy it, and we're able to open people up and talk about the things that we usually avoid talking about in ways that inspire people to actually take those big steps forward in their lives. So we're taking those all over the place. And the other thing that we're doing, which is crazy amazing, we're finishing up our first programming curriculum of clinical guides to go into prisons and
Nice.
treatment centers. And these are just like, they are guides to help facilitators in groups and one-on-one sessions and whatever to optimize and maximize using our films
Yes.
in sessions and the outcomes that they
Outstanding.
can have, because we've got creative activities, guiding questions, teaching moments about like the science of the addicted brain. In each one of these pages and guides, each film has about 10, and the themes are calculating risks, connection and vulnerability, like cultural expectations, exploring habits and building resilience, hiding and lying. You know, it's everything that we talk about. It's not about drinking.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
so we're finishing those up, and we're working to have those in the market by May. And our vision is, like I said earlier, we've figured out how to make a very high-end product for less. And so, but we're still building programming around them to get into the market at market rate, so that we can stand up a self-sustaining and even self-thriving nonprofit,
Yes.
where every dollar that's made from our programming comes back into the company to expand how many stories we tell, expand our community and our movement, bring more people into the fold, make more films,
Yes.
make more films, make more films, tell more stories, make more programs, help more people. So
Wow.
that's where we're going. And it's been 4.5 years, and it's just now launching forward. I mean, we're
That's
just
yes. That's what I want you to comment about this, because if there happens to be a young a person in recovery that is absolutely working towards their entrepreneurial dreams, their purpose, that's what I want you to talk about right now. If they're here and they're feeling like they're in that place where it's not going to pick up and it's not going to go, you've got big dreams, as big as any of our dreams. Your dreams are huge. So I get that. Has there ever been a moment in those 4 years that you've had to really let that purpose pull you? And if so, talk about it, please.
oh my God. Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah, man. The majority of the time, you know,
Awesome.
my wife and I are trying to have kids, which is amazing and a tricky experience. But you know, I paid myself for the first time today from
Congratulations.
Of Substance. It's not a lot of money,
That's outstanding.
but it's 4.5 years of working on this, and I clicked the run payroll today for myself for the first
Outstanding.
time ever.
Outstanding.
4.5 fucking years, right?
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. But you know what? I talked to my wife about it. My wife, nobody could be more supportive. She is the most supportive. She's got to be brain damaged. She's so supportive, right? Like, and 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 I was really upset. I was taking it very personally that I told her, hey, I'm going to be bringing in money from Of Substance. It's not a lot, but I'm bringing in money. And I was afraid to tell her that, because I knew she wasn't going to be that excited about it. And I understand that she's not excited about it, because it just brings up, when's it going to be enough? When's it going to be this? When's it going to be that? Because we're worried. It's scary, you know? You take this risk. And we got into this deep discussion where I finally said to her, you know what? I have so much shame around being 36 years old, being married, trying to have a kid, and still borrowing money from places so that I can pay my rent and so that I can live. And I'm trying something that's ridiculous to do this thing, and it's just every day is shame. because I'm just measuring my success by the dollars that are coming into my pocket and not one has come in, instead of looking at the tens of millions of dollars of value that I'm creating every day in the conversations and the relationships and the networking and the impact that we're making, right? But that's not how I feel inside. I feel like a loser. I feel like it's never going to happen. I feel like a fuck up. I feel like I've got no chance. And man, I have to fight that every day, because I know that what I'm doing is worthwhile. I know that I know from everybody's response that just because it doesn't. So I work with a coach, and she always says, Alex, the most important thing for you to understand on this journey, on every aspect of life, is that you have to have pictures. You have to have a vision of what it's going to look like to pull you forward. But you have to always accept that it is never, ever going to fit your pictures.
Yeah.
And so it's about letting go, right?
Yes.
And it's not about, so we talk about, I know you, I can tell you and I speak the same language, the vibration, the frequency. It's about imagining outcomes and visualizing them and living in a feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? It's about feeling that happiness that you experience and that you feel once you attain everything that you want. Because it's not about the attaining, it's about the getting. It's the getting it that's actually worthwhile. That's the
absolutely fun. Yeah, right? Yeah,
and
for sure.
But it has taken so much turmoil and pain and struggle and fear to even get to. Now my negative echo chamber that used to be 99%, in at the wheel, is now at 75%.
Yeah,
which is a goddamn miracle.
Yeah,
That's progress, right? But it's tricky, It's just like, I think that, we've heard it 1,000 times. It's about the journey, not the destination, right? And it never clicked for me at all. And I was on the phone with my friend Matt, who's the cinematographer of almost all of our films to date. And I talked to him. He's back in Philly. And I was like, Matt, how you doing? And he's like, I'm thinking of hanging up my camera. I'm like, oh, wow, really? It's like, yeah. And I'm okay with that. But, I put a lot into this. I put a lot of money and I put a lot of time, but I missed birthdays. I missed weddings. I missed births. I missed funerals. Like, have I done enough to justify all that I've put in? And I said to Matt, I said, life is not a finite game. We're not working to get to the end of our lives and see if we come in first, second, or third. Right. I think that when we hopefully make it to 96 and we're on our deathbed, the question we ask ourselves is not, did I come in first, second, or third? But I think the question we hope to ask ourselves is, did I realize early enough to choose to be happy in as many moments as possible?
Yes, sir. Yes, Lord.
That's it. That's no different. It's about the journey, not the destination. But for some reason, that really clicked for me. It's about feeling fulfilled. It's about that. And so that's the biggest thing I learned on this whole journey of substance, of getting sober, of falling off the wagon for 4 years while going back to group every single week, right? I think the biggest thing I learned is that it's not. I lost my train of thought. That's an actor for you. I built it up all the way, and then I lost the punchline. Holy crap! What just happened? Man, we're talking about.
It's not the obtaining. It's not the obtaining. It is the journey. It is not the obtaining.
So this is what's clicked for me, and this is one of the keynotes that I give. Right? Clearly, you shouldn't hire me, I guess. But it's. I think what finally clicked is that, like, it's about changing our relationship to struggle. It's about changing our relationship to failure and possibly replacing the word fail with learn, right?
Yes.
Because so many of us are so afraid of messing up. We're afraid of reaching perfection. We're afraid of failure But at the same time, if anybody who tells you they're afraid of success is also afraid of failure, because the
Yeah.
thing that we're afraid of with success is maintaining,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Yes.
fear that I
Yep.
can't maintain it. So
Mhm.
I think that, like, I recognize, I got a friend who's going through somewhat of a divorce, and he called me, and he has been just stagnant for 7 years. He puts in just enough effort to show that he's trying to get a job, but he can't
Mhm.
keep a job, and it's just tricky. And we were talking about just this fear of failure. And I was just like, dude, what if I told you that you're gonna fuck everything up? What if I promised you that you're gonna fuck everything up? And guess what? So am I. And guess what? So is everybody else. And
Yep.
once you fuck everything up, you're gonna fuck the rest of it up. Because guess what? There is nothing to fuck up. We have this paradigm that it's about messing up, it's about mistakes,
Yep.
it's about failure, but that's not real, right?
Oh.
Every time you try something and it doesn't work out the way you expected, you learn something. It's
Yep.
a scientific method. It's set a hypothesis, try something. Did it work out? What did I learn? It's not
Yep.
throw out the results.
Right.
It's what came of this,
Right.
right? But
Right.
we have this fear that that's not it. So I started to recognize that I believe that we are organisms put on this earth for one purpose, and that is to be in a constant state of growth, change,
Yes.
transformation, and evolution.
Yep.
So it's the best thing for us to do to intentionally seek growth. But
Yes.
but a required prerequisite to growth is struggle.
Yeah.
Struggle leads to growth. Struggle leads to growth. Struggle
Yeah.
leads to growth, right?
Yep.
It's hit the next glass ceiling, break through, and then hit the next glass ceiling.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So like this idea of just like, I keep coming back to change your relationship with struggle and recognize
That's
that
the
it's there to
biggest
help
message.
you.
Yes, that's the
the
biggest
best
message.
But we're
It's the
so
biggest
afraid of
message.
pain, and we're so
Yes.
afraid of discomfort, and we're so afraid of struggle that we look to numb and distract and escape, like you were
Yep.
saying.
Yep.
We use Netflix, we're control freaks, we throw up, we
Yep.
gamble, we snort coke, we shoot
Yep.
up, we take pills, we do whatever we can to just avoid this discomfort. But in the
Yep.
end, that's actually causing you deeper discomfort. Being stagnant is not natural for us.
Right. Right. It's not.
So
It's always
seek
moving.
failure. Seek it and fall down and break.
Yeah.
Go break your leg. And
Yes.
it will mend. And have fun and figure out what's
Yes.
out there. You know?
Yes. Yes. Don't believe the lie. Don't believe the lie that's in your head that is just telling you this is all of your old life trying to keep you safe. That's it. It thinks that that is safety to you, and you've just got to live outside the comfort. If you don't
Yeah.
live outside the comfort, man, you'll never realize who you really are and all that you are in this world. You know, going from that place of feeling like you are undeserving and unworthy. That's the magic. That's the
You deserve
magic.
everything. And
That
you are
is.
already enough.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you already have everything you need to be everything you ever want to be.
Absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely.
You just don't believe it.
That's the truth. That's the
And that's
truth.
okay. But that's
That's
the thing, is it's okay, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the process. None of us believe we can do something when we first start doing it.
That's
And
the
that's
truth.
something that came up in my group one time that I love. One of the guys in my group who I admire, I look up to this man so much. He's an executive at a global company. And he was 2 years into the group. I was 8. And he asked the group one day, he's just like, guys, when did you start believing that you could do this?
Mm.
And we were all dumbfounded. None of us. People started coming up with some bull, right? But listening to all of it and taking it in, I started to recognize, I was just like, that's the magic of community. That's the magic of groups.
Mm.
It's that we're here to believe in you until you're ready to believe in yourself.
Oh, man.
That's
Vital.
LC. That's what you're doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what
Yeah.
Of Substance is doing. We know you're out there and you're having a
Yep.
tough time. You don't believe, and that's okay. Just keep showing up, because
That's it.
we're here to believe in you until you're ready to believe in yourself. Okay?
Yes.
Just keep going.
Yes.
And you're gonna get
Yes.
here. And you're gonna be like, oh shit, look at me.
Look, I'm here.
You got this.
That's outstanding, man. Thank you so much for agreeing to come here, man, and being a part of this reality. The world's a better place because we're living in here, man, and doing this, and you're here making your amazing, amazing films. I just love them. I look forward to everything you're going to do from here on out. You know, I look forward to us really getting to collaborate and do some things, because I want to be a part of everything you're doing, man. I'm in whatever way
I
is
want
possible.
you next to me. Please, please, please. This is
I'm
the
with
beginning of a lifelong
yeah.
friendship, and I'm
Oh,
right
believe
here
me.
in it with you.
Man, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you and Of Substance. So where should we send people right now if they want to jump right off this video, skip the description, and go see you? Where do
Yeah.
they go?
Go check out ofsubstance.org. On ofsubstance.org, you can reach out, you can contact us. I'd love to hear from all of you. Please subscribe. Yes. If you subscribe, you'll get all of our emails. You'll watch the films that are coming out before anybody else. You'll hear about the events that we're doing. And when we have films coming up, right? You'll be able to submit your stories on our website. But you can also go and watch all of our films for free. There are resources that are there for you to share with your family and your friends, with people who are struggling, or with people who don't understand you, because they're there to show the things that are hardest to say. They're there for all of us. Okay. Please check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, and we're doing a lot of work on LinkedIn now too that will help you if you are a treatment professional, if you're a education professional, if you're in any of those industries or worlds. Please find me, Alex Kaplan, on LinkedIn. We are starting to push out a lot of our programming that we love to bring to your company, your organization, your school, your center, and do whatever we can to help and be part of your community.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. I'm so grateful, man. I'm just so grateful. I look forward to a growing friendship with you. Keep doing what you do. And man, I'm going to keep helping you put it out there everywhere. I thank you so much, man. I look forward to seeing you again.
LC, thank you for this. This was such an amazing gift. Thank you.
You and me both. All right, everybody. Until next week. And go check out ofsubstance.org right now with Alex Kaplan. All of that information you just gave is in the description. Make sure you go check it out. Man, I love having Alex here. I love all of you. And join me next week as we actually meet together. He's a global speaker. His name is Brendan Watt. He is pretty... You know Brandon Watt?
Brandon Watt? That's awesome.
You know Brandon Watt?
I know of Brandon Watt.
I do too. We're going to all meet Brandon Watt together next week, live right here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So show back up and continue to show your love. Mr. Alex Kaplan of Substance. Y'all go check it out. Until next time. Bye.